It is Regina Walker, aka Rich Gina, and welcome to episode number 4. So I'm gonna turn back over to Yancy, and we're gonna introduce our special guest.
Yeah. And not just our first time, also our first time having a guest host on the show. So you know what this means? Basically, this means this is our official ribbon cutting episode, right? For the Millions of Money. We needed a few episodes just to work some things out, make sure everything is good. So I would like to, of course, give a shout out to our previous owner, our previous host. What is he? Ahmad, Chelsea, Regina, Cassandra, and everybody else.
And Betty flew out from
Betty
Chicago.
flew all the way from Chicago to come out here and host
deal.
the show. Just to make sure that everything was ready when I actually come on to host, and also for our first guest. And of course, to actually bring our first guest, we actually went and looked for the best of the best. We couldn't just bring anybody here to represent the Millennials. So we went. It's coming straight out from PA. For people who don't know, that's Port Arthur, Texas.
A country boy.
Yep. He's an entrepreneur. He's a millennial. He's someone I work very closely with. And actually, just to let you know, last year in 2017, he was the Southeast Texas Black Man Entrepreneur of the Year. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Fred Vernon. Fred, can just introduce yourself to our audience and tell a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. Yancy, Regina, thank y'all so much. I'm happy to be here. Again, my name is Fred Vernon, and I am the CEO and founder of KLV Ventures. And I'm hoping I can drop some bombs, some knowledge today for our viewers, some content, and I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, absolutely. I love the energy. Before we go any further, this is now the time to go and like, share, subscribe. So that's the little pause for everybody. I know everybody was already either on the phone or on the computer. So
you
can find us everywhere on Facebook. We are Millennials with the $ and money. On Instagram is millennial_and_money. So go like, share, comment, post a comment on Facebook. If you have any question, you can reach us. Where they can reach us? What they reach us at? Regina?
They can reach us at 1-844-700-4463.
Oh, absolutely. So we basically everywhere. There's really no way you can find us if you're looking for us. But hey guys, how's the week? How was your week, Fred? How was your week, Regina?
My week was pretty good. Just been busy. It's like midweek, so we had just working on expansions, having meetings with my managers, making sure everybody's on point, and had to, it's election year, so hope people's going out and voting. So early voting started February 20th. So.
Yeah. What about you, Regina? How was your week?
It was good. I actually presented workshops for some other millennials.
Awesome.
Did a presentation for some almost retirees. So I went from one end to the other end of the X curve.
So from millennial to baby boomer.
Yes, it was good. And then I even got a chance to go see the pre-show of everybody's talking about Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, all that good stuff.
So
I got a chance to see a little bit of of that, and so it was a good week.
Okay,
awesome.
And so. The first topic we're gonna go over, which is what's coming up next. I know at that time of the year where everybody all of a sudden is in love with the IRS, right? Because they're about to get their check back.
They're gonna be balling for a week.
So for a little bit, everybody's excited about getting some returns, some tax returns. So that will be probably our first, the first topic we're gonna go over this evening. And there's an article that's probably gonna be pop up in a little bit on your screen, which really talks about we're gonna get all that money, right? They're gonna be getting all those money back. Usually people are looking forward to this period of time because they're expecting to get a big check, right? They're expecting to get but the question is, first of all, is that really a good thing? And also, what are you supposed to do with all that money? So if you want to kind of chime in a little bit on that, Regina?
Yes. The article is actually from CNBC, and you should be seeing it on your screen shortly. And it actually talks about us, here's why you're getting a big tax refund. So basically, you're giving the IRS a loan tax-free, interest-free. They're not paying. You're giving them a loan for a whole year.
Yeah.
and they're not giving you nothing back.
Oh,
on,
well.
you know, more. But if you don't pay them, you gonna pay. You gonna pay in the end.
Yeah.
But basically, you need to change your W-4. It's saying that, you know, our withholdings, we're actually, you know, I was told, you know, younger days say always claim zero so you get more back in the end tax refund. So stupid me, I'm gonna do what people tell me to do because I'm thinking that they know.
Yeah.
But they're not well educated enough to know you can own your money, invest it, do the things you need to do with it, and then maybe break even at the end of the year. But if you have to pay them $1,000, who cares?
Yeah. So basically, it's all about the strategy essentially,
Yeah.
right? If you can keep more of your money and actually use it properly, make some profit out of it, or invest it, or get some interest. Now, even if you have to pay him back, at least you already used some of that money, right, to your benefit. And what I love about the article, if we put it up a little bit, it also says that 1/3 of the people who are getting refund are actually going to save and invest that money, and another third are actually going to use that to pay down some of the debt, which is a good thing. But my question was, how about the other third? What are they going to do with that money?
They better go buy a liability, go buy a car that they don't need.
So, I mean, what do you think, Fred? What do you think that our viewers should look at getting those refunds? What do you think should be a good thing they can do with those big refunds?
I think they should look at. It depends on what their appetite for risk is. Depends on how much return they want to have. I would possibly look at putting it in maybe some treasury bills or municipal bonds where you can get 3 to 4% return and be pretty safe. You don't have to worry about losing that money. So and like Regina said, anything is better than letting the IRS have your money, and they're holding on to it for an entire year, and you're not getting any return on it.
Yep.
So, but if you go and put it in really a savings account, if it's sitting in a savings account, it's earning like 0.0001% interest. It's not getting anything there either.
Nothing.
So, but if you invest in like a treasury bond or some kind of T-bills, very safe bonds, you're still going to get 2, 3, 4% return on your money. So I think that would be a good play.
But it's essentially, not to give any recommendation, but really the idea is you want to be able to, number one, like Regina, as you mentioned, set up your W-2 properly so you can get as much as your money during that year, during the actual current year. But also, once you get that money, you have to use it properly, right? You have to make sure you can get some return on it. And last but not least, if you one of the lucky ones, we're going to get a tax refund. So are you saying microcall is not a direction to go with the money? Or a new pair of heels is not a good use of that money?
In my younger days, it was a sale at Michael Kors or some heels would be a very nice investment, but no, I would say no. That's not the best way to go. And then to think about it, from our episode 1, for those of you who did not watch it, please go back and watch episode 1 because we actually talked about the changes to the new tax bill. And if you think about it, all of us, majority of millennials especially, fall into the tax bracket where you're going to be now gaining an extra 3 to 4% on your money already. And if you're a single person, you claim 1, you're already going to get probably an extra $300-$400 depending on your taxable income a month. What can you do with that $300 or $400? You can do a lot with it. And we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the things you can do, with that. But it's more so of you owning your money and doing the right things with it.
Exactly. And that's really what we bring as Millennials and Money. We're actually here to provide you with life-changing, life-altering financial information to you on every second and fourth Wednesday at 8 p.m. on this podcast. So again, like, share, subscribe, and you can call us. You can comment on our Facebook page. You can call us. The number again is 1-844-700-4463. Am I right?
Yes, you're right.
Awesome. I got it. So basically, the idea with the tax season coming up is what should be your mindset going into the tax season? What should be your strategy on what you want to do with that money? Which actually bring us to another topic that's very not only very important as millennial, but just as anybody in general is. Once you start building that financial house, the key that's very important is having an emergency fund, right? some sort of reserve. So not just from a personal standpoint, even if you are a business owner, depending on where you are, you need some sort of reserve, right? Because we just realized emergency happened.
Harvey
Right?
happens.
Emergency happened, just a matter of when it's going to happen. If it's not Harvey, it could be the car that's breaking down. It
That
could
ice
be,
storm.
it could be an ice storm. Yeah, I remember I was stuck in the house.
Yes, that's why y'all are gracing our presence today.
Yes.
So all of those little things can happen, but you have to. That's why you need to have that reserve just in case. I know from what I heard, it seems like with even having a bad headache can be an emergency for some people, right? So you never know.
It can be.
It can be. Okay. So
Yes,
apparently that can be
it
an
can
emergency
be.
too,
You
right?
have to, you got to look
So,
right.
exactly. So you there's all of that could be an emergency now, but how do you really make sure you build up that emergency fund? If we can pull up, I think on
Our
Saving Your Future book, that if you don't have the Saving Your Future book, you can either email us on an info@millennials, letter N, money.com, so you can get a copy, or you can email me directly. My email is showing up there. You can email me directly if we can send you a copy. But if you go on page 8, the bottom of page 8, it really talks about how, I love that piece because it talks about how making small change can actually builds up a big result. Can you explain a little bit on that, Regina?
Well, basically, that extra $300 that you about to get by changing your W-4, this is where you gonna implement it. So basically, you take $300 a month, $10 a day. I know y'all went to Chick-fil-A today. I know you went to Whataburger. I know it's good, but think about it. You spending $10 a day, earning 8% interest over 30 years. That's almost $500,000.
Wow.
What millennials do you know that are gonna be retiring with over $500,000 or close to it?
They should be, if you ask
They
me.
they
We
should.
all should.
But those
right?
that don't listen to us won't.
They all should. And it's more than even just listening, be able to, like I said,
Take
implement.
action.
Right?
Yes,
Actually
so
go and take action. to do it.
Applying it. So basically, it's saying just making the you're not gonna do it overnight. Time. It takes time for money to grow.
Yeah.
If you think about the wealth formula, the earlier you start, the less you have to do. But me, hey, I'm 32. I ain't got much time. So I'm gonna have to do what I need to do. No. Because if you think about it, who has time is my nieces and my nephews. They have a lot more time than I do. So I have to start now.
Yeah.
I can't be saving $300. I need to be saving more than that because we need over $2 million for us to retire comfortably. $2 million.
Wow.
Do y'all have $2 million?
Not yet.
I know I don't have it yet, so I need to do the things I need to do now so I can get to that over 2 million because I ain't got time to be just living comfortably. I want to be living above that.
Yeah, and the other thing too is, and I'll ask you to actually give your input as well, Fred. Is that the way I look at the $10 a day is at the beginning is more of building a habit of saving, because we're all creatures of habit, right? The things we do repeatedly, like they always say, success is not an act, is actually is repetition. You have to be able to do it. So the more you do it, the more comfortable you get in doing it, the easier it is down the road to do more because you already create a habit of doing it. Just like anything in life. Now, from an entrepreneur standpoint, Fred, when you look at, we're talking about emergency fund, talk about reserve, as a businessman and an entrepreneur, how does that relate to you? How do you, when you have a business, is this something you should also think about? And what ways can you start building that reserve just in case some unforeseen expenses happen?
Yes, that's a very, very important topic as far as saving and creating a habit of saving. So I was just talking to, we had a management meeting. We usually have our management meetings on Sundays. And so we talk about, spending and how we use our money inside our organization and what we're spending money on. So, and I tell my managers, my leaders all the time that the same way you manage your personal life is how you're going to come in and manage this organization. So if you're,
I love that. Oh my goodness.
Absolutely. If you're free spending and you're throwing money out there and you're paying this bill early when it's not due, in times of uncertainty, Hurricane Harvey, we had the ice storm, like Yancy was saying, you have to build a habit of discipline. Saving that $10 every single day is great, but it has to be something, a habit of discipline throughout your entire life. And as an entrepreneur, being disciplined, because sometimes you're gonna have several money in the bank a lot of times, and it's you got to be disciplined and not go out and buy that new Ferrari, or not go out and buy $1,000 suit every week. You got to reserve that money, because you don't want to. The most important thing is you don't want to miss out on opportunity because you didn't have save the money. You weren't disciplined at a certain time. So from a personal life perspective, you got to save. You got to be disciplined so that you're prepared for emergencies. But at the same time, you don't want to miss out on an investment opportunity. I mean, if the investment minimum is $5,000 and you've been going to Michael Kors or buying those red bottoms or suit supply down the road,
instead of some Pradas.
Yeah,
New Jordans.
Just bypass that temporary gratification and save your money. Be disciplined so that you can be ready to take advantage of those opportunities in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I love that, and I never actually look on that perspective. It's also having, because it's not just about emergency, it's also opportunity, right? Because having that money can also put you in a position to take advantage of an opportunity as well. So it's not just looking at, an emergency might happen. Is you be in a situation to, like I said, take advantage of an opportunity on both on personal level, on a business level as well. So I really love the input of be able to create that consistent habit. Now, there's different ways you can go about saving, right? You, like I mentioned, you can do $10 a day, and there's an order we're going to show you, just another example of a strategy you can utilize to save money. If you can pull out the file and the work where you guys will be able to see. And if you scroll up a little bit more, you basically what it shows is some down, I guess, scroll down. So if you see, there's a list of numbers. Basically, there are the 52 numbers, and every single number represents a week in a year, because a year has 52 weeks. And the idea is to pick every single week. You pick a number and save that amount every single week, and by the end of the year, you will save about $1,000, not about $1,000, basically. Now, and what I love about it, if you look, there's actually one the number that's 0. So there will be basically a week you will take a break, right? you have your bye week, right? A week you can kind of go crazy. But the beauty about this is having that you can do it any other way. I mean, you can go left to right, you can go up and down, you can make it as fun as you want to. And I know someone, what they did is they took some number, wrote down 1 to 52, put in a bar and just pick number randomly. So if you pick maybe number 10, you go and count number 10, whatever that number is that you're saving that week, go and so on and so forth. So you can make it fun just as a game. And what's even better is, let's say your goal is to have $5,000 of emergency fund by the end of the year. You can still use the same concept, but every number just multiply that times 5, and then you still reach your goal. So I always tell people it's not a matter of, there's tools out there, right? This is just an example of what you can use, but there are tools out there that you can take advantage of, and we will make that, of course, available. If you comment, if you want a copy of it, send us an email, like I mentioned, info@millennials, money.com, or you can email me directly as well. We can definitely get that to you, so you can utilize that to, start saving and create a habit. Like, say, making a fun game, you can do that with your friends. You can have a group of people.
Have a little healthy competition.
Yeah, people can keep you accountable. Just different ways of especially as Millennium, to still reach the goal of creating a habit of
and being disciplined on not spending.
I know.
I know the quote that I had read earlier. It says, discipline weighs ounces, but regret weighs tons. Wow. So if you think about it, you don't want to regret not, reaching your goals, because we've done it many, many times. You say, I'm going to do this, but life happens. Yeah. And then you fall off track and you don't even think about it anymore. Because I know I done lost 10 pounds 20 times. so you have to say, get on the wagon and, have your accountability person, keep you on, make sure that, because if you don't have accountability person, most likely you're going to fall off and you're not going to go back. So
it's always fun when you can do it with other people. Like I said, you can keep each other motivated, because everything in life, you have ups and downs, but if you have that person, you have that people next to you that's going to push you can push each other. It always helps. It always helps. It's just like anything, especially when it's something new, when it's something you just started your first time, when you have somebody helping you as well. and going through the tough times, and that's always a good thing. So that was a little bit of the segue about the tax season and what you do, what you really use that money for, and the great thing is about this is that's even a great segue for our next topic, which is basically entrepreneurship and millennials, or millennials in entrepreneurship, right?
And the journey,
and the journey,
that
we go through, because even one of our next article kind of really talks about that, right? How nowadays entrepreneurs are more and more go into entrepreneurship as millennials, and because they feel like that's a lot more gratifying, or how one could, but especially now that we actually have an entrepreneur here at the Millennium is even perfect, right? So my very first question to you, Fred, would be, what really made you go into entrepreneurship? What was actually the motivation to go into that?
Man, great question again, Yancey. We didn't pay him to ask us these questions, do we? But
I may have.
But I think it was two things. I think what for kind of like, I guess, thrusted me into entrepreneurship was, one, I feel it was destiny, like destiny from God. I genuinely feel that. And then number two, it was kind of like a desire to do more with my life. I was working at PricewaterhouseCoopers. I was an accountant there, which is a good job. So it's a good job. A lot of people do it. It's a respectable craft, being an accountant or a business analyst. But I just, every day I kind of felt trapped. I felt stuck, and I felt like I wasn't being the best version of myself that I could be. So the opportunity came to whereas that I could jump out on my wing of faith and go full time to my business. And I had some guidance from my mentors. And a quote from him was, when I was kind of feeling that anxiety about to quit my job, a quote from him was, he said, I went into his office and he looked me in the eye and he said, "Fred," he said, "if you want to continue to make part-time money at your business," he said, "then continue to give it a part-time effort. But if you want your business to take off and go to the next level, and you really want this to be your thing, then you need to give it a full-time effort." He says, "I'm not trying to tell you to quit your job, but if you ever want your business to go to the next level, you need to quit your job."
So basically, he was kicking you out without kicking you out. But it was your choice.
Yes. And I mean, he told me straight, I need to quit my job. And I think maybe like 2 weeks later, I quit my job. And that year, our revenue here in 2000, from 13 to 14, year one, we did about 370,000. And I think we almost hit $1 million in revenue that year in 2014.
Wow.
So almost doubled by just
by you taking action.
Just by actually putting full-time effort into it. But let me go back a little bit. You mentioned your first year, because people can hear the number and they don't understand that you're talking about revenue, not actually margin, because there's a big difference between your revenue and the margin. So go back a little bit when you just start from your first year and kind of walk our audience through really what was the actual margin from the first, and also after that, just let us know what was your worst moment, so far throughout your journey of entrepreneurship, right?
Ooh, that's a deep question. Who was the roughest time? And I will definitely talk to you guys about that and share that with everybody. But first, so with regards to margin, great question there. So the margins are they're very thin. So at that point, you have economies of scale. As you grow, your margins can actually, you make more money, but your margin, you can negotiate with vendors and you actually make more money. But when you're at that point, 370, 670, you're very small. So your margin, you're talking 3%. And then if you have an accident or you have, fuel price goes up, then you're almost making nothing sometimes. So my first year, 2013, yes, we had 300 and something thousand in revenue, but you got payroll, you got taxes, you got fuel, you got unexpected expenses, emergencies come up, so you got to save. So, but $300 a week was our profit, $300 a week. And then, so, you multiply it times 4 at the end of the month, you got $800 maybe. So if you have something goes wrong, or anything happens, you're gone. Your profit's gone. So,
and I really want to emphasize on that, because you said after on a monthly basis you're making about $800 profit. people might wonder, okay, this guy must be crazy. Why keep doing it? I mean, you're making $800. I mean, you could be making way more than that doing on your 9-to-5 job. Why even keep wasting your time doing it?
Good, and that's a good point. So it's like you gotta see. I think one of my biggest gifts, like, so I can't drive a truck. I can't do what my manager do. Corey Bridgewater, Jonathan Vernon, Justin Jackson, Bobby Arnold. I can't do what they do on a day-to-day basis. They have talents and skill sets I don't even have. But I think my greatest asset is hope and vision. So
Ooh.
I can see things kind of not a vision like a prophet, but like I see things before. I have a belief that even though it's not there right now, like I know it's gonna come. And then second to that is believing in it so much that you get other people to buy in and believe in it as well. So I think that's my greatest gift is hope. And so going back to your other question, like why do it? It's because I saw the vision. Like I knew it was gonna be, and all I needed was a little pushing from my mentor to say, okay, do it. You're gonna do it. Because I saw him doing it, so I'm like, okay, well let's take the jump. I knew I want, and I was getting so much pressure at my job, like not pressure from managers or whatever, but internal pressure where I wasn't myself. I wasn't maximizing my creative ability, and so it was a no brainer. I had to make the jump, and when I made that jump, margins went up, revenues went up.
Because you were able to put more time into it.
That's right, more time into it.
The time that you really needed to build your business.
That's right. Yeah. And I'll tell y'all the truth. In 2014, when I quit my job, my company wasn't making huge. It was still making, at that time we had grown a little bit because we've been in business for about a year and a couple months. And I was making at that time maybe $1,000 or $1,200 a month. That was our profit. But at the same time, that still wasn't enough to take care of. I mean, $1,200. And again, if you have a bad week or a bad month, you're losing money. So I mean, the savings wasn't above $5,000-$6,000. It was still subpar. So, but I still took the jump, and the idea I had lined out, the idea I had, the hope and the vision I had lined out on Microsoft Excel. Like I'm all fired up. 2014, because I lined out, okay, we got our FedEx operation where we started at, but then I added this new 18-wheeler operation to haul jet fuel. Crude oil at the time. So I was like, yeah, we're going to do this. I got my first 2 trucks. I had everything laid out. I had my trucks, my employees, everything was laid out. I knew it was going to work. Quit my job. Boom, everything fell through. Didn't even happen. So now I'm looking crazy. The university I graduated from was like, Fred, you're supposed to be, supposed to be doing good here.
You ain't doing what you said you was going to do. What happened?
Like, what's going on, Fred? We all, everybody's counting on you.
Yes. Right? And the deal I set up didn't even go through. And so now I'm just, I'll be honest, I can't recall a time where I sat there and really like sat and cried about it or was like upset, like, because I was so focused on what I was gonna do and I was determined to do that. Like you kind of, if you've ever been like doing something like playing a game or like reading a book or a Bible, and if you're doing something for like hours, you forget like you forget you're hungry, you forget you have to go to the restroom. Well, that I go in cycles like that in life. I'll be so focused on what I'm doing, actually forget that. Okay, that what happened? Everything fell through. You're only making $1,200.
I mean, I personally don't rarely forget about the eating part, but I understand the rest.
You gotta eat.
Yeah, gotta eat. I get everything else. Right?
Well, yes, he's chopping me up right now.
I'll say, well, where do you see your business in the next, 5, 10, 20? Like, what are some of the goals that you see in the vision?
Good question. So this past year, we got a sizable grant from my hometown. They gave us a grant so that we could hire local.
Nice.
So we actually were able to double the size of the company and actually expand into Dallas. We had made a huge footprint in Port Arthur. We're actually going to open an event center there. But however, so that's just one small stepping stone. I mean, we doubled our company. So now that I've kind of got a grip on this thing. Like I understand how it works. I've got my managers in place, and they have diversified skill sets from me. So we're diversified enough within our management team. Now we can really do some things. Now we can really. So
actually, the game can actually start. It started getting fun now.
Yeah.
Yes. So what I'm gonna do next is at the end of this year. So we've got about 36 units, 36 trucks. So we've got the infrastructure to do it. We know what we're doing now. So now I'm gonna raise a fund for about 4.5 million or so. Instead of going to the banks, I'll just raise it from my friends, and then we'll go to a city, maybe Springfield, Missouri, or I don't know, Shreveport, Louisiana, and we are going to analyze the market there for freight, transportation, workforce, and we're just gonna double everything we got again. So, but instead of using banks, we have investors, friends, family members, and we just go in, do it all again. Because now we've got everything's laid out. So we do that at the end of the year. We don't owe the banks money. We provide good return for our investors.
Yeah.
And I mean, at the end of year 3 or 4, I mean, we own this company debt free.
Yeah.
And then
That's a true entrepreneur right there.
So
I like debt free.
yes, debt free.
Those are the best words ever.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what I'll then do is we'll take the return from that, and then I am going to partner with a friend of mine who is about to acquire a CPA firm. We'll partner up and form a private equity firm, and we'll focus in transportation. So that's the future.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
Awesome,
the future.
awesome.
I love it.
But I love the fact that you said, now we know what we're doing, right? After
5
years, right?
Yes.
But it shows that, number one, there needs to be a vision, right? For you need to have a vision, okay? And number two is you have to be okay with failing in the process, right? It shouldn't be like, oh, this didn't work, okay, stop, let me go back to what I'm doing. You have to first you have to even expect that, okay, things are gonna happen, things are not always gonna work out the way you want to. But over time, you start getting the experience, start understanding everything else that goes into all the processes. And now, like you said, okay, now we know what we're doing, and it's easier for you to duplicate whatever you started here to another place, to another location, and so on and so forth. And that's how you're able to, in just a few years, you can really expand your whole operation. Now, the other thing I wanted to ask you, because I read, there's all kind of article out there about Fred. So,
Google him.
so I was reading one what you were kind of talking about what you actually want to bring back to your community, right? As a son of PA, right?
Absolutely.
Port Arthur, for people who don't know what PA is, Port Arthur, Texas. Now, and I know you were talking about how you want to bring financial education back to the community, how you feel like that can really help your people, help the community back there. So why financial education, right? And how do you feel like that can help the community move forward?
Good question again. So March 20th, we're actually hosting a free event. KLV is actually partnering with two other businesses around the area, Mobile Oil Credit Union being one of them. We are actually going to host a free seminar on people how to do resume writing, interviewing, financial literacy, all that good stuff. The reason I feel that that's important is because that's the way to freedom. That's the way, out of your 9 to 5 bondage, where you're free to create. And one thing that we have here at KLV is where when you come and join the team, you become a part of us. This is not just Fred Vernon. This is where people come and be a part of an organization that's bigger than themselves. If one of my leaders or one of our ground level guys, one of our frontline soldiers comes in and says, "Hey, Fred, John, I've got a great idea. Let's try this." We'll look at it, examine it, and we'll probably implement it. If it works, then we'll actually tell that soldier, "Hey, okay, you're a general now. You head this project up." And but we've got that's got to come from guys who are willing to cross train. They're willing to do anything inside this organization it takes to be great. So, but nonetheless, I feel that education, whether that be financial education, trade education, whatever kind of education that is, I feel that is the key to freedom. That is the key to be able to create whatever it is in your life that you feel you were destined to create. It starts with education.
Okay, absolutely. And I couldn't say that even better. But I guess it shows that, like you mentioned, financial education is really the key, like you mentioned, to freedom, because that's the only way you can own. Like I always tell people, that's the only way you can buy back your time.
That's right.
You have to be
able,
and of course, and time is money. So you have to be able to be financially free. You have to be financially sound, and it kind of goes back to even what we offer, which is our complimentary workshop. And know here in Houston, what are the different location people can get to our
we
workshop.
actually have 2 locations now since we added Pearland, but we have an office on the north side of Houston at our TC Jester Financial Center, 2500 East TC Jester, Houston, Texas. And then we have a new location, Pearland in Shadow Creek area, South Houston people. It is 11233 Shadow Creek Parkway, and we're there every Monday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Come out and join us.
Okay, absolutely. Awesome. And if you're in the Golden Triangle area, we also have a financial center there on Calder, 2615 Calder Avenue, Suite 410. Zip code is 77702. Every Thursday, 6:30. You can definitely come out and learn and start educating yourself on understanding better how money works, and also be able to know how to apply this little concept. We talk about building an emergency fund and so on. So there's so many other knowledge you can learn and be able to apply as well, and make yourself, and just like I said, just make yourself better. Now I also wanted to ask, because I know we had even a conversation outside of here, is how do you see, especially in the transportation field or business, industry, how do you feel like, especially now with, technology is everywhere. Technology is improving. Everything is automated. We all have smartphone and so on and so forth. How do you see that affecting, or how do you see that how you can leverage that to your advantage?
Yes. So about leveraging technology to the advantage of the organization. Yeah. So if you don't mind, yes, there was a question you had asked me that I didn't answer. I wanted to get to
it.
The struggle. Like, I wanted to answer that question, and then we can get back to leveraging technology and how that's impacted our business, and how we'll continue to leverage it. Well, my hardest struggle came in 2015. And what happened in 2015 was, I feel like I kind of gotten away from my roots, kind of gotten away from my foundation, and that's God, and being in church and being a true Christian. And what happened was, I kind of got more so focused on what I was doing, my business, just being me, being out here being me. And what happened was, I kind of felt, the inner prodding of God trying to, get a hold of him. But, sometimes you kind of push that inside, and, you continue on your way. We've all had our prodigal son moments.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And, don't make me start preaching.
Hey, but tell the truth, shame the devil. Lord.
Amen. But I kind of got in the way, and we had never had an accident in our company the entire time we've been in existence. So
that's a blessing.
A true blessing. We had minor things, but nothing serious. Well, in 2016, we had in the scope of, I think, 120 days, we had 3 of the worst kind. Almost totaled our trucks. It was 3 trucks. So fortunately, we didn't hit anybody else. But what it was is, we had a jackknife. And we had drivers from staffing agencies, which we kind of over leveraged on that. But we had a driver that kind of skidded off into a ditch, ruined the entire truck, damaged the load, and that happened 3 times. And then and then outside the scope of 120 days, it's probably like day 150. One of our trailers was stolen, and they stole the load on the back of it, and the trailer was actually stolen out here in Houston. So I ended up, crushed it, like literally crushed in my spirit. Like, man, what is going on?
What's going on?
So when the trailer was stolen, that was the last event. First, it was the 3 jackknives and the 1 rollover, and then the stolen trailer. And immediately, like I got down, I started praying. So I had that conversation with God, and I kid you not, within 48 hours, my trailer was found. And the trailer was found. Again, we got rental trucks in line. We found out that the trucks were not totaled. None of the 3 trucks were totaled, and things kind of like skidded back online. I promise you. and just prayer and just don't forget the roots. So one of the hardest times for me was in 2016 when I kind of gotten away from my roots, gotten away from God, gotten away from being in church regularly, and I lost my focus, and when you get that back, God is merciful, and
Thank
when you,
God.
Amen. And when you get that back, God He'll restore to you, and not only restore it to you, but he'll 2-3 fold, and he'll get you back on track. But that was my biggest struggle in 2016. I ended up all of 2017. A lot of it was recovery from the things that happened in 16.
Okay.
And so now when I run into issues or I feel like I'm drifting away a little bit, I remember real quick, like I don't want to go through that again. I don't want to go through that again. So that was the biggest struggle, but it also taught me one of the best lessons is don't forget your base and stay humble, and that keeps
where
you
you're rooted.
Yeah, because sometimes
right.
when you start getting, especially when you look at us millennial when we were still young, when you start getting a lot of success, you feel like, oh man, I mean I can do this. It's just you doing it, right? You don't understand that there's always something above all, right?
Yeah.
So that's the other thing. So I love the lesson learned you got out of it, because really that's what it should also be about when it comes to any endeavor. You have to, if there's a struggle, you have to find out, okay, what can I take out of? What can you learn from it that you can apply to the next one and make sure it doesn't happen again, basically.
Yeah, because you'll have a little wake up call. As my mom would always say, you smelling yourself.
Yeah.
That's a little country saying right there. So, but you have those in life, or in a moment, especially when you become a teenager, and then after a teenager, and then especially as an entrepreneur, you're like, oh, I did this myself, self-built, self-made. Nah, player. No.
That's right. And that is. I mean, anybody that says they did it on their own, that is foolery, and that is a flat out lie. Yeah. Like I said, I was talking a little earlier. Every single one of my leaders, I don't like the word manager, but every single one of my leaders in my organization has a different skill set from me. If they didn't have that skill set, we wouldn't be able to put that leg to stand on. Mm-hmm. So it's like, to me, the bigger you get, the more you realize,
people you need.
Yeah, the more people you need. Like, you realize you can't do this. There's no way you can do this on your own. I can't drive a truck. I can't do the recruiting like John does. You can't be in
all those places at one time.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't even possess the skill set.
It's
just more of
that's right.
Like, and I thought you knew how to drive a truck.
No, I
just assumed since he owned the truck. But hey,
now I do have a CDL, but y'all don't want me out there on the road. I assure you.
Nah,
y'all don't want me out. I first took my CDL test. And this is just another, just having that grit. I took my CDL test out here in Houston, and I had never driven an 18-wheeler before. And so I just wanted to I had to get my CDL. If I was going to do the craft, I had to do the thing. It would literally be like us going right now, Regina, giving you the keys to an 18-wheeler, you hopping in there right now.
I wouldn't hop in it anyway.
Exactly.
Because I know me. We would have this building would be gone.
Right. Exactly. But you have to do that. You get it's just bare bones of getting out of your comfort zone and going to the next level, not being afraid to get out there and do what everybody else is scared to do. And people are scared to do it. I was scared too, but I just didn't let that control me.
But you didn't fail the first time?
I did. I failed the first time. I didn't even get out the parking lot because I failed the air brake test. But the second time, we drove down 610 and I-10 all through all that good stuff, and got back to the DPS in one piece.
And nobody died. Oh God!
Nobody died.
Does it have on their student driver? Like how it has it on the.
I don't think so. I don't think we were able to put that on.
Because then that'll be,
or maybe like the emergency light was on the whole time.
Right. Put the flashes on the whole time
so people can get out of the way. So, and going back, first of all, I mean, like I said, thank you again for elaborate on the struggle and the lesson learned. But going back to technology and how you feel like that can affect your your business or that industry as a whole.
Yes. So currently, I think last year, there's something called an ELD mandate went into effect, and what that is, electronic log mandate. So previously, the industry had an option. You could go electronic logbook, or you can go paper logbook, and the logbook is just every hour a driver is on the road or on duty, he has to log it on a piece of paper, a pre-made piece of paper, so our logbook. So now the FMCSA, the federal government, our federal regulating body, mandated that we switch from paper logs. Everybody has electronic logs now and has to be in compliance. So with that being said, we can now monitor our guys, our guys and gals out there on the road at any time to make sure they're not over hours, to make sure their logbook is proper and in order, and that we're not getting violations. We actually haven't had, to my knowledge, we haven't had a single violation since the ELD mandate went into effect. So it's actually helped us. And then the second thing that is doing, you have Elon Musk. I saw he posted the other day about electronic trucks, battery powered trucks. And then we've got the invasion of AI on the transportation industry, and so I'm excited about all this. So and then also we have powerful applications to where we can actually check the spot rate for freight. Let's see, if we go for a lane from Dallas to Houston, we can check the spot rate for what freight is paying in that particular lane up to probably the last minute or last second, and see what freight's paying. So we know how to negotiate with folks and brokers and shippers.
Yeah, technology.
Yes, technology is been great for us, and I'm actually hoping. I thought about calling Tesla the other day and putting on reserve some of those battery powered trucks
already. Okay,
when are they gonna come out?
I'm not sure when they're supposed to hit the market, but I know they're charging very fast. The battery, I think, holds 400 to 500 miles to a charge, but I need that to get up to about 1,000.
Yeah, because you can't go too far.
Right. I mean, you can practically only drive, about 500 miles, 600 miles a day. But you still, if you want to spend the night, you need to be able to get back. So it's almost there. It's almost there.
Okay, awesome. And again, like I said, thank you for all the insights. But really, one of the key takeaways from me is, like I said, number one is you have to be able to, you need the education, you need the financial education to be even prepared for it, to be able to buy back your time. And entrepreneurship, it has to, determination comes with it. You have to expect failure. You have to have the vision. I love the fact that you have to have vision, especially as millennial. You have to have that vision of where you see yourself. Right? And not to down. Also, I don't want to feel like the people have a 9-to-5 job. Everybody tomorrow should just go quit. Don't just go quit.
Don't do that. Okay? You will be on the street as quickly as you.
So that's not the goal here. But it's just to see that we all have a purpose of the reason why we're here. Like us, Millions of Money, there's a purpose. There's a purpose why we're here to provide all that financial knowledge to you guys. But the next our next bit would be, do you want to segue into a Milli bag question, Regina?
Oh yes, we just in case you didn't know, Fred, we have millennials that email us and they'll ask us a question or two, and we give our little feedback, and so it's always about money. So this one, it says Trina, her best friend Alexis will be graduating in May and has a job lined up.
Nice.
And will receive a $5,000 bonus.
Awesome.
Not too bad. Good. Alexis just purchased a car, but can't afford the car insurance.
Okay.
Alexis asked Trina to pay the first 6 months of her car insurance on her credit card because she know Trina doesn't have the money, and she was going to pay her back whenever she get her job in May. And she says Alexis is in school, and isn't able, to pay for it. And Trina wants to know what she should do. Should she help her friend out?
Oh, and that question's for me. I'm in
all of us.
All of us. I mean, what I would start is first of all on her signing bonus, because I see that she has a 5,000 sign bonus lined up already. The first thing she needs to expect is, right, she's not gonna get 5,000. There's such thing called taxes and Social Security, and so first of all, the 5,000 is not gonna be 5,000. She will be lucky if she get even 3,000. Now, the funny part about the question is, while you were reading the question, I can see Fred was already shaking his head.
He was shaking his head. I didn't look.
But if you read the question, to me, the funny thing is the question actually kind of answer itself, because
you ain't even got the money.
Yeah, she says I cannot afford. I mean, if you cannot afford, that means you don't need the car, don't need to buy the car if you cannot afford the credit card. I mean the insurance, right? It's just like me saying, okay, I want to buy this new house, but I can't afford to put furniture into it. I mean, so what's the purpose? I mean, that would be my takeaways. Number one, she needs to first, I don't know where she's located, but you need to find a way to get to one of our financial centers to learn how to increase your cash flow. She needs to maybe better manage what money she's currently making. Maybe she'll be able to save a little bit by cutting out some of the expenses. And maybe after that, she might be able to accept to afford. But if you know if you cannot afford to pay for the insurance, then you can't afford to buy the car because it kind of goes. I mean, it goes together. Right?
Yeah, and that was. I mean, wow.
I see your face.
Return the car. If it's been the last 30 days, I think there's some laws around that.
Yeah.
You should probably return the car, and definitely and definitely never charge some. If you don't have the money in your bank account, you shouldn't be. Just because you have the credit card, you shouldn't be spending the money if you don't have it in your bank account. A credit card is not a loan. It should never be used like a loan because the interest rates on those things are astronomical.
Over 20%.
That's right. Yeah. Well over. So just for all the millennials watching, if you have a credit card, do not use a credit card to buy something you don't have money in your bank account to pay for. A credit card is not a loan.
Love it. Yes.
And so she should return the car. No, you should not help your friend because that's going to put you in a financial predicament that you don't deserve to be in.
Yeah, I mean it's just 6 months. I mean it wasn't like a one-time thing. Like you want to pay 6 months worth of insurance.
Yeah, because they say you get a discount. You pay 6 months. That's what they say. But like when I was reading when she said that she purchased a car, I was like, okay, first of all, most likely she didn't purchase it because the purchase car is a cash car. That means you bought it cash. You don't owe nobody when you say purchase. Otherwise, you are loaned that car because if you don't pay it,
your car note,
your car is gone. You're gonna be walking.
That's right.
So basically, I would say you ain't bought a car yet because technically you cannot even get off the lot unless you have car insurance right now.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing the friend was there. So I'm hoping, Alexis, we ain't too late, or Trina, and you done already gave that girl your money because most friends don't pay back. And then that's gonna put a rift in your relationship. And if y'all are roommates, it's gonna be even worse because you're gonna see her going on a trip and you're gonna be like, "Where's my money? Where is my money?" Because she's gonna be on the Bahamas somewhere, and then you're gonna be jacking her up. You're gonna be throwing her stuff outside. Yeah. So we can't be having all that. So just say no from the beginning because you can find new friends because that ain't a friend right there telling you to get paid. No.
Yeah, and like I said, to me, the question answered itself. The moment you say you cannot afford to pay for the insurance, right? That means you cannot afford to own the car. Because purchase the car, the insurance is part, like I said, it's part of the car. So you have to be able to be responsible. It's kind of like you say you purchase a car, but I can't afford to put gas into it. Okay, why are you buying the car for, right? I mean, you have to be able to take care of the maintenance of the car, essentially. But again, part of it is also the lack of knowledge. Like even Fred mentioned, if you're going to put something on your credit card, you have to know or have the money to pay back at the end of the month, or the money is already there in your bank before you realize. Because I do understand the value of the credit card when it comes to building your credit and so on and so forth. But like I said, it shouldn't be used as a loan. You should use it because okay, I have the money to pay back, right? And I'm put on a credit. I know I'm going to pay full at the end of at the end of the month.
Mm-hmm.
That should be the idea. It's not I can afford to pay this. Let me put down the credit card. So 6 months down the road, I'll be able to pay back. That's not what it was. That's not what it was meant for. That's not what a credit card is meant for. But again, and I think even our workshop number 1, when it comes to increased cash flow debt management, kind of talks a little bit about how you keep track of your expenses. How you can find out, okay, maybe where am I spending my money on? Maybe she cut down, like I mentioned, maybe she cut down some of her expense. She might be able to afford the insurance on her car. So there's other ways around it, but definitely using your credit card if you don't have the money to pay for it is not a solution. It's not an answer to. I know you want the car, but if you don't have the money to afford to pay for the insurance, you shouldn't. Owning the car is not an option, right? Purchasing the car is not an option.
No, you have to do some sacrifice. You have to sacrifice at some point because you're not gonna get everything that you want, no matter You think as a child, like, oh, my mom gave me this, my dad gave me. I always, got the yes. So yes, no, you got to say no.
Yeah.
And learn the power. There's power in saying no.
Yeah,
Right.
but also
No
good
to
thing is
yourself,
the good
yeah.
thing is she has a job lined up, right? She has a signing bonus, so 6 months from whenever that is, she'll be able to afford for a car, right? You're gonna make a lot more money than she's making right now. You have a sign, so you can afford to maybe put the down payment on the car. Maybe your car will be even less, and with the money you're making with the new job, you might be able to afford to pay for the insurance. So just have to wait.
Don't increase your living expenses just because you got a job.
No, I'm just saying if she actually needs the car, that's the other thing. I don't know what she needs, but if she needs the car,
Let me tell you, I was I can't remember where I saw it at. It was, I heard it in church. My pastor gave it as a it was a guy actually was walking. He walked to work every single day for 7 months, and it took him over an hour to and from to get to work. Never late, never missed a day at work. 7 months. And he did it because he said that, he had to take care of his child. He knew, you have to sacrifice for something. But some people at work saw his dedication, and that people late and they got a car. But he walking over an hour and he's on time no matter, he's up north. They actually put together put together money. Yes. Over 11 miles. Thank you. I love it.
Work every day.
He walked to work, and they actually put together and some money and went to a car dealership. The car dealership heard his story. Actually, fixed up the car because the car was dented up, had paint, needed paint and all. Fixed all that up. They presented him that car.
Wow.
So God will bless you for your sacrifices, but you have to put it in. Don't do that.
Okay, so let me take back what I just said.
Yes.
So work. So
You have to work for it.
So you have to work for 11 miles every day.
11 miles.
Again, it goes back to the sacrifice you make. You have to be able to make the sacrifice for what you want. Because what you say is also absolutely correct. You have to be able to sacrifice to get the things you want. And again, she might be able to even save some money by by doing that. It might get to a point where you can maybe buy the car cash up front, right? So definitely putting the insurance on the credit card is not an option. Sorry. I know she probably did not the answer she was looking for, but
I think that was the answer she was looking for. She gonna tell her friend, y'all watched it. You watched this show. This is a new hip show I just heard about. But not know. Hopefully you use some fake names though.
Yeah, but excellent. But we're getting close to that time. But again, before we leave you guys, again, share, subscribe. Every second and fourth Wednesday,
we are here
at 8:00. We're here, Millennials and Money. Again, thank you to our first guest to be here.
How can they reach out to you, Fred?
Definitely hit me up on Facebook, Fred Vernon. You can put in Fred Vernon KLV Ventures, and it'll locate me that way. Or you can hit me in my DM on Instagram at Fred_Vernon88.
Yeah, who knows? There may be some truck
if you want
drivers
to talk
out
about
there.
business, though. That's
Yeah, truck drivers may be out there. Yes, women, don't be trying to get in his inbox just because you know he's an entrepreneur. Don't be doing that.
What about you, Regina?
You can reach me actually on Facebook, Regina Walker. Emails walker.r8697@gmail.com. Instagram, I can't actually remember it off the top of my head, but I know it's R Walker. I think it's financial educator. But you can find me either way. Just inbox me. You got me.
Oh, so of course, myself is Yense Bole. You can find me on Facebook at Yense Hervey. You can email me. My email is showing up there already. And Millions of Money, you can find us on Facebook as Millennials $and Money, on Instagram at Millennials_N_Money. And of course, like I said, we licensed financial professional, affiliate with the Millennials and Money, here to provide you the information. It was an honor for me to host the show this evening. And like I mentioned, this was officially the first show.
Because we had a guest.
Plus, I was hosting the show. So that officially this was the number one. So we had to fix that before we posted. But again, thank you, Houston. Thank you, Facebook. And we'll see you next on the second Wednesday of next month.
At 8 p.m.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Peace. Bye.